back and bigger than ever. It's the Unofficial 40 from Soonerscoop.com. Now, here's the entire Sooner Scoop crew. Carey, Josh, Eddie, and
George.
All right, welcome back. It is the Unofficial 40 podcast right here at Soonerscoop.com, Soonerscoop.com studios on historic Campus Corner. The firemen were down eating lunch today. Making a weekly habit of that. They've been very helpful to the Scoop offices before in the past. They even gave me a key to turn off alarms and stuff. So shout out to the Norman Fire Department. We are here. We are living in a world where the Indiana Hoosiers are national champions of the sport that we all love, college football.
Amazing.
I think it's a very good thing. We can get into that. We also are down one George Pitioya, who is skiing. I think he's wrapping. I think today is the last day of the skiing, maybe.
Yeah, I think they're on their way back today, actually. I don't know if they were going to get up on the slopes on Wednesday or not. It's a godsend that he was even able to go. He was on his deathbed the day before they were supposed to leave.
I know.
He made it, though.
We've been away. We've been out of the content game. It's actually, Eddie, it's kind of been relaxing. We haven't been slaves to the content gods.
There hasn't been a whole lot out there, but it has kind of been the, I guess, calm before the storm. Obviously, school and classes started back on Tuesday on the 20th, and it feels like everybody's kind of getting back to normal after the holiday break. It always seems like that's such an extended period of time.
Yeah, you see a lot of people walking around outside the offices, so it's pretty noticeable that things are getting back to normal. But, man, this weekend, we may be facing the storm of storms.
Yeah, pretty exciting. I think we're going to get some snow in Oklahoma. That's putting it lightly. I think we're in for it on Friday and Saturday as it stands now. So kind of exciting. Like I've always kind of joked on radio, at least, that I used to love the idea of a snow day, but when I started doing radio and having to basically drive in no matter what the weather was like, it's kind of taken it away from me. But if it's going to be on the weekend, I'm all in. I love the idea of kind of being, I guess, bound to the crib and having to just sit around and watch college basketball all weekend.
I have a video idea for you.
Okay.
Like a secret camera follows you around a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And your grocery cart is just full of bread and dairy.
I'd probably get stopped multiple times by followers or whatever. But yeah, here's the thing: I don't go to the store very often. So I told you earlier that I've started to delve into the idea of breaking the crock pot back out over the weekend. I'm gonna have to go to the store because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get out on Saturday at all. So yeah, I am gonna have to go to the store at some point.
I love the idea of the crock pot. I don't know if my crock pot works. Is part of my problem.
I can execute it. I've done it before. Like
I know you've talked about it.
It's going to be good.
I think excited. My crock pot shuts off though, like randomly. Like I just got a limit.
Would be a problem for a crock pot. Yes.
Yeah. Josh McQuiston is here. Josh, do your daughters get like? They have a lot of FOMO when they see it snowing in other places of the world.
They kind of are on the outset of maybe getting some ice down in Houston this weekend.
Well, we're right on the edge of it, but the thing is the day, like Saturday is when we're supposed to leave.
Oh, so that's right.
My biggest concern is is the plane going to leave the tarmac? I have Houston handling cold weather is a nightmare. I've never tried to fly in that situation, but I'm prepared for delays. So that's going to be a whole thing. But Eddie, Carey, I can send you a good crock pot. Like we did the shop. We use crock pots fairly regularly with all the kid stuff going on after school. It's tough to actually sit and cook sometimes. So we've got one going all the time. But Eddie said you don't go to the grocery store very often. Are you you have a shopper? Like, are you doing like Shipt or any of that type stuff?
Come on.
No. You just don't buy food. Yeah, okay.
I just don't. I don't really dive into the buying of food, which probably is not the best thing for me, financially and or health wise.
Josh, you know that Oklahoma's greatest influencer has to be out there among the people eating his dinner at whatever new fancy restaurant has opened up in Oklahoma City.
Well, and when it's all gratis, man, I'm sure that only helps, to go out to those fancy dinners. So
How
all
often
the
do people
catering
not
to you.
charge you for dinner, Eddie?
Oh, I pay every time. For the most part. I mean, I think
Yeah,
like
okay.
when we went to like Mott the first time, I think we got a little bit of a discount. But
Sure.
for the most part, I usually pay when I go out.
Have you ever paid at Birdie's?
Yeah, I think so. Because the other thing
Shout
is
out
like
Kevin
for a lot of the time that when we like go to Birdie's or go to Mott or wherever, we're in a pretty large group, so we're not getting like a full discount. It's more of a, hey, let's just split this up 10 ways or 8 ways, whichever.
Gotcha.
But I think even my friends.
Is there anything worse in that scenario? I've been in this situation where the people actually want to itemize the thing. I'm like, no. We're splitting. There's 8 of us. We'll split it 8 ways. It's fine. Like somebody's going to pay $5 more than they should have. We're all going to survive.
I actually think the only time that happens is when we're out on like work trips, like at a game covering something, and the newspaper and the TV people always have to get it itemized to get the alcohol purchases so they can have their meals, comped by the radio station or the TV station or the newspaper. It's probably why newspapers are going out of business. They're just charging all these extravagant meals back to the publishing companies.
Josh knows all about that.
Oh, here we go. Here's some shit.
Anyway, yes, I tell you what, you can send me that link for the crock pot, Josh, but all my money is otherwise invested in something else that I'm not telling Eddie about right now. I'd like for George to be here.
I'll be back tomorrow. I was thinking during
a lot of Amazon deliveries coming the next couple of days.
During the Indiana run to the national championship, I was thinking about like just how expensive that had to have been to not just go to the game if you're a fan. I think it'd probably be more expensive than like from a media standpoint of flying to Atlanta, then Los
All the
Angeles,
places you've been,
then
yeah.
back to Atlanta, to Miami. It's crazy the way that the calendar works out. And I don't know if you guys saw like the future schedule for the national championship. Like basically at the end of January is just, it's insane. It's another added to the list of insane things that we're doing in this sport right now.
That's got to change, right? Like that just doesn't feel like they can sustain that. And more you do that, the farther back you go, the more you're battling with the NFL.
They've already released the next 2 years. It's even further
it's like
ahead.
4 years. It's like 4 or 5 years.
24th and the 25th. Like it's going further out.
Next year's January 27th in Las Vegas.
Like
It's
they were
insane.
all in the 24th, the 25th. Like they were all deep in January.
I remember thinking like when OU would play in a January 1, just a regular, New Year's Day game, like what a reward that was. Like, oh man, your season's lasting through the first week of January. That's crazy. And now to think that, I felt it even over the course of last weekend with all the NFL stuff. It was hard to wake up on Monday morning and think like, oh, the national championship's tonight. And maybe that's just because I'd become a little detached. Not to say that I wasn't excited about it. The game was awesome.
Well, it's like your brain turns into NFL mode at that point.
Yeah.
Because you haven't been watching college football. I mean, like the excitement of the Final Four is long gone by the time they play the championship game. And it really was like, okay, it's Monday, the Thunder were playing that afternoon, which is kind of weird, but you just kept telling yourself like, there's a game tonight, so you got to get ready for it. And
it did feel like I guess it was technically a holiday, but with like schools out, we didn't come down here. It did feel kind of like a Monday holiday, if you will, on the back end of a really busy weekend.
Well, but here's the thing. You take it all in together, it was a great college football playoff. I mean,
Unbelievable.
The best that we've seen so far. And
Committee got it right.
they did get it right, yeah. And look, like you said, it would have been really expensive. I was going to go out to L.A. with you guys. I'm glad that we didn't end up going out there because it would have been miserable because I think OU
I'm
would have
not.
lost just
OU
as
fans,
bad
I
as
stand
Alabama.
with you. I'm not against you like Carey. I wish that we would have gone.
This isn't like a Josh argument I'm trying to make where, it's better just not to be in it than to go get your head kicked in.
Indiana was just they were a machine. It was crazy to kind of watch unfold on the largest stage, like basically 4 consecutive times if you're counting the Big Ten championship game. every time, like, I just kind of kept doubting them. And then I'd kind of finally come over to this idea that, okay, like after the Peach Bowl is like, this is just going to happen. This is the way it's going to be. And then, Miami definitely was in the ball game. They had the horses to stay with them.
Well, and it was 10-0 at halftime.
Did you guys?
I mean, that was impressive
Did
in
you guys
itself.
come away? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Did you come away thinking like? Because I agreed, like Carey, like, oh man, you go out to the Rose Bowl, Indiana would have kicked you around. There's a part of me that wonders, though, if in a lot of the same ways Miami matched up well with Indiana, Oklahoma could match up well with them. Because that defensive line, Miami's probably the only defensive line I saw all year that I thought consistently was as problematic as OU's was. Like, just could throw. Now, I don't think they had as many bodies to throw at you, but their frontline guys were really good. I think this year's Miami might look a lot like next year's Oklahoma, where there's not as much depth, but that first 4 or 5 guys are really, really good. But again, the difference being, Miami had Mark Fletcher in the run game getting some things going. Malachi Toney was able to make a few plays. Like, that would have been where it would have just burned OU eventually. But I was like, if you'd have told me, like, watching this game that OU could have played Indiana to 10-0 at half, I could have believed that. I think the dam would have eventually broken. But at the same time, like, the problems that Miami presented, I do think Oklahoma could have thrown some similar things to Indiana for a while.
I could have definitely seen the zero portion of that playing out. I way underestimated just how good, how sound. I knew that Indiana was really good defensively, but what that front seven did on a multiple 3rd and 1, 4th and 1s against Miami, they just manhandled them. I mean, it was no contest.
I thought it was, it reminded me, and it made me feel like it was very high-level football to the extent, like, it was like watching the NFL. Like, you have 2 really good teams, and the further you get along, there's one team that no one's dominating each other, but one team is making a few more plays along the way, and that was always Indiana. Like, and that was Miami against Texas A&M. It was, I'm trying to think of the way it even went now, because Miami after Texas A&M played
Ohio State, and that was more dominating. And then you're like, okay, well, Ohio State just wasn't what they weren't playing, with all, everything wasn't clicking for Ohio State in the playoffs. But you watch Indiana blow through Alabama, and then they played Oregon. No, who?
Indiana,
yeah, they played Oregon
in the Peach Bowl.
And they were just
beat the shit out of them.
They were just better than them. But then they get to Miami, and Miami has that really good defensive line. But Indiana, they'd pick 3rd and 8, and they'd run it, and they'd pick it up, and it was like
great play
those
call.
little plays along the way that they made that made them the better team that Miami just couldn't make. But yet they were still 2 high-quality teams matched up against you. It was like watching Kansas City, beat somebody in the Super Bowl, and they just methodically did a little bit better than the other team. I mean, that was it. They're just so disciplined in what they do.
It reminds me of, like, when I'll go to a high school game and I'm going to see, a couple of OU guys, and maybe they play for one team, and the team is good, but they've got like 3 elite dudes. And then they play against a, like, let's say Jinx or somebody that maybe doesn't have OU guys that particular year, but's got 22 really good football players. Like, and that's kind of, it was like, yeah, okay, the 3 will pop everyone. Like, Reuben Bain would do something. Malachi Toney would do something. Mark Fletcher would do something. But over the course of the game, Indiana's just like, yeah, we've got numbers, and we're eventually just going to kind of swallow you up. And that's what it felt like. Because for me, the thing that stood out about Indiana, every game I watched them in the playoffs, they tackle so well. Like, they don't miss tackles in space.
Well, and the other thing too, Josh, is like, I look at the receivers for Indiana. They were better. I mean, I can't discount Toney. He was the best player on the field. But, like, the receivers for Indiana were better than Miami's receivers. They couldn't get open. Yeah. Toney is the only difference maker on there. Everybody else, it kind of reminded me of OU a little bit. Like, they just had guys. They were just guys. But Indiana had guys. The Cooper guy, we all know about the Serac guy.
Charlie Becker just
Becker
the run that he was
made,
on the last, like, what was it, 5 or 6 games of the season.
And that back shoulder catch was one of the plays of the game.
when you add everything up about Indiana, it's like, oh, okay, that's why they won the national championship. I think that like,
and then you have Fernando with the run of his life.
It was incredible. It was that moment is like one of the great college football moments of the last, maybe my lifetime, like for sure the last decade, of just like everybody's gonna point to that moment. I think somebody was saying on I think it might have been PMT or somebody on the podcast this week, talking like that photo of Mendoza diving over the goal line that's like the Superman play for Oklahoma fans to an extent, probably on a larger scale. Like every Indiana fan's going to have that photo in some form in their living room or their sports den or wherever. It's awesome.
Look, I want to get back to it, but Indiana, they made their championship run. You can start your own run toward your New Year's goals. Whether you're looking to drop weight, boost energy, or just feel better heading into 2026, Cody Drug has you covered. They offer multiple custom compounded peptide-based weight loss options, including popular GLP-1 medications. Read a lot of positive stuff on GLP-1 recently. And performance-focused peptides that help you recover faster, burn fat, and stay sharp. Also, Cody Drug loves to team up with Oklahoma med spas and longevity clinics to deliver high-quality peptides quickly, safely, and with top-tier service. Can be a great benefit to your offerings if you get with Cody Drug and team up. So while Oklahoma regroups, we've got the official announcement of Team 132 starting. It's time for you guys to chase your New Year's resolutions along with the Sooners. Visit CodyDrugRx.com to learn more and see how you can get started. Also, go check them out on Instagram, CodyDrugRx on Instagram. And Will and the gang have a lot of recommendations for you guys depending on what you're trying to do and how you're trying to live a healthier lifestyle into the new year. Cody Drug, personalized medicine built for champions. And what do you think about Indiana, like the uniforms?
I mean, they're Adidas, but they're
kind of crappy.
That's neither here nor there.
Does your vision help you see the crap that they are?
Yeah, well, kind of. But then I was like, well, they are maybe going to cover, so I kind of like them now. It's a new year, Sooner fans, and that means new opportunity to get back into the playoff, win championships, and thanks to Enjoy Vision, save $1,000 on LASIK and lens replacement, contacts, and readers. So last season, it's time to see every play, every highlight, and every win with crystal clear vision. Schedule your free LASIK or lens replacement consultation at enjoyvision.com. That is the letter NJOY vision.com. And start the new year with a fresh perspective and keep an extra $1,000 in your pocket while you're at it. Enjoy Vision. This is where Suitor Scoop LASIKs.
All right, so look, here's the thing too, and I've seen some people, I saw a Tennessee fan, and I understand longtime fan bases, blue bloods, people that have grown up with this, grew up going to games. It's a big part of their family tradition. Like, I get the sentiment of, well, it kind of sucks because the Indiana fans haven't really had to bleed for this. It just kind of came out of thin air. Whereas
the best tweet on it was, congratulations to Indiana. None of their fans even cared about football until 2024. And now they have accomplished something I would chop my testicles off to see my team do just once.
That's the Tennessee
classless
fan, right?
Vol. Yeah, at classless Vol. Really good.
And
it's true.
I get it, and it is true, but don't be that cynical. Just say, this is, at least we live in a world now where Alabama doesn't dominate college football anymore.
There was a certain level of innocence maybe from Indiana fans online, from Instagrams and things that I just saw taking in over the last couple of weeks, that it's I think that even them or even they are in some type of shell shock state. It's I cannot believe this is happening. And every person had their Indiana, football story of, well, when I was in school, they were 0-12. I never even saw them win a game while I was in school. That type of thing, especially some of the older fans. There was one really cool interview that one of the local, I don't know if it was an Indianapolis station or who, that this guy had been a season ticket holder since 1959. Barely could really, communicate in a way, but he was still with it enough. It was just damn, these people have been through some shit.
Yeah, and it's not good. And it's the kind of shit where you just give up, I think, frankly.
Yeah, they never expected it to happen.
I mean, look, Porter's now lost 5 games in a row, and I think a lot of people have just given up on OU basketball. So
well, I don't think Porter Moser has the Kurt Signetti touch. Maybe the next coach will. We can get to basketball here in a little bit.
But no, I mean it's good for college football. Now it's up to coaches to figure out why this happened at Indiana and it's not happening where they are. But
that conversation is really interesting to me because I think it's a little bit of everything. And you know how, sports commentary, especially on social media, gets where you have to paint it into one thing in particular. I think it's everything. Signetti's phenomenal. He pushed every button perfectly over the last 2 years because it's really not just this year. It's even what they did last year.
Yeah.
But I do think that, and I'll just give him credit, is Crimson and Cream Machine that tweeted it out. I think this is the right take. You're going to see a lot of people calling this a sign of the times or the new world of college football. But Indiana is an outlier in this era. This isn't an expensive mega roster, which I do think is true. This is a group of guys who stuck with the same coach for 3 to 5 years. You add in somebody like a Fernando Mendoza, who, I think we all I remember talking about him after the bowl game last year, or after I think Cal came back and won, and he had kind of a corny
I remember watching him at
interview.
Cal a little bit,
And it's like, I like this guy. He can move around. He can make some plays. I don't think anybody thought he was going to be the Heisman Trophy winner and eventual number 1 pick in the NFL draft. And then you add in the fact that they did have a ton of guys that, the stat about the Kalen Black kid being 24 years old and a year older than Bijan Robinson just breaks my brain. I can't comprehend that. And then you throw in the fact that they didn't lose a fumble over the last 15 games of the season. It's it's storybook. It truly is a movie.
Josh, what do you think about the way it was built, Indiana?
Obviously I'm the stars matter. I'm the recruiting guy. So there's
not a shot at you. Yeah, I'm not trying to take a shot.
No, of course not. But I get it. There's people who are like, see, Josh, I told you. And I get it. It opens up the conversation to there is a different way you can do this. At the same time, I think Eddie hits on a really good point. You had several perfect situations kind of play out. I know people they built through the portal. A lot of that portal is JMU guys. It's a portal, but it's a guy that's been with Kurt Signetti and that staff for 4 or 5 years now. There is a level of experience that you're just not going to go find by going and grabbing D'Angelo Pons in the portal and bringing him to Norman. He was with Signetti, stuck with Signetti. That all works. So I do. I think it's an interesting avenue. To me, kind of like what Eddie was saying at, Crimson Cream Machine, said something along the same lines. When you show me that someone else can replicate this, okay, I'll listen. I'll listen to, hey, this is a real path. This is a way that can do it. Not just you kind of caught lightning in a bottle here. Because, again, a big part of it was Fernando Mendoza playing absolutely out of his mind for the last month. That changes things.
Some of those back shoulder throws just – I would say it can't be replicated, but he replicated it for a month. Maybe Fernando Mendoza is just really, really good.
Well, absolutely. And the thing is, Eddie, the thing that nobody talks about, they'll talk about the age. They'll talk about Fernando Mendoza being really good. And obviously, having the best quarterback in the sport's a pretty good turnkey way to be a really good football team. But the thing that nobody talks enough about, that staff hasn't changed, guys. That's the same OC that arrived. He's going to be there again next year. Same with the DC. They have had a lot of continuity. And we were joking about it yesterday. The S&C guy is the first guy that I've seen leave, and he's going. Josh Heupel hired him away to Tennessee. So I'm very people are like, well, next year they'll fall off. I bet you Indiana's in the playoff again next year, just because I think they're really good and I think they're really smart. At the same time, the year after that is what I want to see, because that DC is going to get a job. The offensive coordinator is going to get a job, but you're going to have to see. How does Signetti build his staff? And maybe he does great, but it's just a question we don't know yet.
I don't want to say it was lightning in a bottle, because I do agree with you that I think this is pretty legitimate. And now with NIL and the influx of money that the program will get, even more so because they won the national title from the likes of Mark Cuban and those types, I do think it's sustainable. I just don't know about the level of dominance. I think it was a perfect recipe of veteran players a really good quarterback, and obviously, like you said, a really good staff that developed these guys. Now, I do think like maybe there are schools that look at the way that Cignetti runs a program. That could certainly change. I think the efficiency stuff is really interesting about getting out there and basically getting your business in an hour and 15 minutes Monday through Friday, or Monday through Wednesday, or whatever their practice schedule is.
So this was from Pete Nakos. I woke up to this morning in the On3 newsletter, and here was what Nakos had to say about the build of Indiana. He said their roster spending checked in just under $20 million this season. Ohio State's roster hovered at around $35 million. Texas Tech topped $28 million. Miami was closer to $30 million. So, I mean, like, you just have to look at that and look at those numbers and say, that's lightning in a bottle. I mean, it is evaluation. It is, picking the right guys. It's about having experience, like you said, both coaching and players. I mean, they average 24 years of age, 23, 24-year-old across that roster, when that's closer to what NFL teams, average. So all of that together, I think there is no smoking gun like everyone wanted to make it out to be, like, oh, they must be stealing people's signals or headsets, or tapped into the system, or they've got AI plugged in to know this and that because they've got all this research.
It's worse. Unfortunately,
abilities.
It's worse than that. It's worse than cheating. They're just fucking better than your team.
Yeah.
That sucks. It sucks
it's
to admit.
It's hard to hear, but that's the truth. They're just better than. I mean, they were better than Miami.
And this group was a special group. It's kind of crazy. Maybe I've just come to accept it, and maybe it is a level of coping. I just don't know how else other to take in the information at hand.
It doesn't make any sense, and you really have to dig deep into it to even get a grasp of what you're looking at. So
I do agree, though, Carey, like with your point in the opening segment, just in terms like, I think it's good for college football because there are a lot of schools that are on kind of that periphery that you can, if you want to allow yourself to believe, you can believe that anybody that suits it up to an extent can win a national championship in today's world.
And you know what I think? I think it shows to me. I feel like watching what's happened at Indiana with it being a lot of player evaluation driven. Josh, would you say that player evaluation is the number one success story of Indiana versus anything else other than coaching?
I would absolutely do. Yeah, because I mean, again, I don't think there's a whole, but like, you're not going to go to the draft and it's not going to be like 2019 LSU where 14 guys go in the draft. It's going to be, Mendoza obviously will go 1-1, but after that, guys, I bet you they don't have more than 4 first and second day picks. Like, I just don't think there's good players, but they're not height, weight, speed guys. They found guys that fit what they wanted to do.
So the reason I bring that point up is I think with Oklahoma, with their front office, with Jim Nagy, I think they've got a head start on the evaluation part. They have an entire staff of people evaluating players. And, I know people were getting frustrated in the portal because they weren't going after the big money guys. And a lot of my friends were like, why don't they do that? Like, why are they being so cheap? And I don't think it's that they're being cheap. Maybe it is. And I said this, I think, last week. Like, Jim Nagy would love to have $40 million. Gabe and I were talking about that just not too long ago. You don't think he would love to have a $40 million roster?
Absolutely. I think he likes to be challenged.
So you think he's okay with 20?
Let's do it on 5. Let's see how much can we get out of each dollar.
Yeah, I don't think I believe that at all. But you've got Brent. You've got a good culture in the locker room. You have, for the most part, guys staying, except when they can get more money to go somewhere else, which we saw happen probably more this offseason than we've ever seen. Whether it was Marcus Strong or Sammy Omosigho or whoever you want to throw out there, Javonte Gibson. There's some guys you're just not going to be able to keep, but I do think OU is they've got a little bit of head start on the rest of college football. Now, Indiana, like we said, they played it perfectly, but I think Oklahoma is in a space, in a position to really take advantage of what this modern day building a roster looks like.
I think you're probably right. Like I think because I think it's got to be more coordinated than ever before. Like it really is built rather than just like, okay, we're going to go get all the best players and here's what we've got. Guys, the really interesting room to me that I think, and somebody asked me this question in board chat, and I kind of be interested to hear your take. Obviously everybody's like, we got to go get number one wide receiver. Got to go after Cam Coleman or Nick Marsh or like one of those guys. You got to go get an elite guy. I think Oklahoma was like, okay, we want to have a good unit, and so we're going to get Parker Livingstone and we're going to get Trell Harris and obviously try to retain Isaiah Satania. And so I think they feel like they've got 3 really good receivers and maybe not one like Cam Coleman, elite, future first round kind of guy. Does Indiana show that that's maybe that they're not that that's the only way to do it, but that there is a real path there? Because my thought has always been, if you don't have a number, like if you're like, oh, we feel pretty good about all these guys, you probably don't really have, like a special group. But Indiana kind of showed like, yeah, you can be really good and just kind of win in the aggregate.
Well, look at the team they beat. I mean, like I said, Tony's a better receiver than anybody that they've got. He'll be a better receiver than most people have when they face him. It doesn't always make a difference in winning and losing a game against great competition. I mean, to me, Josh, you're not winning with the Cam Colemans. You're winning with the offensive guard and the right tackle, and you're winning with the safeties. And, I mean, we talked about the O'Connor kid, the Washington State transfer, right?
That
he visited OU and ended up at Miami. Like,
he got picked on all night in the second half.
I mean, he's not as good as Eli Bowen or Cortland Guillory, I don't think. And
I think you look at Indiana defensively, too, and they had that. What was the kid's name? The 5'9" cornerback, 180 that just would come in the box and light you up.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
and he was making all the tackles.
I was like, okay, he's a great player. Like, but that's what Eli Bowen is it not? And I'm not trying to just compare everything to Indiana, but I guess you do in a way. They're the national champion.
Right now, they're Alabama. Like, everybody used to be like, well, where is OU in accordance to Alabama? Now it's Indiana. Like, and that's fine. That's fair. Guys. And you guys know me. I love the NFL draft. I love all the personnel type stuff. So, like, I could nerd out about this forever. But in the NFL, you see, like, okay, you have to have the number one wide receiver. It's, after O-line, kind of offensive tackles, defensive ends, quarterbacks, you kind of have receivers. Like, that's kind of one of the next big money spots.
Look at Buffalo this last weekend.
I'm starting to wonder if in the college game, that's not the same value. Like, maybe running back is more valuable. It's worth more to spend there because you don't have to worry about long-term contracts in the college and the guy's body's breaking down in their late 20s. That's not really the concern. So you'd rather have an elite back that you're going to give 20 touches to than maybe a elite wide receiver that's in a great game going to get 7 or 8. Like, I wonder if that is a difference that we'll see play out over years in college football. And I wonder if that's something, that played into Oklahoma's thinking with how they wanted to handle receiver.
Here's my thing is, like, Miami doesn't make it to that game without Mark Fletcher. OU has got to find a bell cow at running back. I mean, that's the biggest thing to me.
Both those teams can run the shit out of the football.
Yes.
Both of them. And Indiana probably did it a little bit more at the end, but Miami did it just enough. I mean, they're not in that game if Fletcher doesn't break off the big run to get him back into the game there in the third quarter. It's over. It's not going to happen.
Well, and didn't you say Keelan Black is like a year older than?
Yeah, he's 24 years old.
He's a year older than
he's 24
Bijan
years
Robinson.
old. Like, when they said that, or somebody sent it to me in a text message, and I hope it's true. I never went back and looked to
and
make
he's
sure.
a James Madison guy.
But it's crazy to me, and I think that, like, I don't know. It's another one of those, like, am I just using it as cope? But I do think that, like, when you turn to hand the ball off to a 24-year-old man, it's incredible that he didn't fumble it all year. But I think it plays a part. It plays a role. And Carey, I remember back to some of the stuff that Brent would talk about, kind of like in the early dark stages of whatever, like when we didn't know if they were going to be able to figure this thing out. And he always talked about having teams that were older. And I think it plays a bigger role than I thought it did, than maybe just going out and getting, Well, he's some 5-star. He has to be good.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, a lot of those guys, like we talked about earlier, they weren't. Oh, I mean, like Brent's talking about being older and being in the same locker room together. That's kind of what Indiana was, because a lot of those guys did come from JMU.
100%.
Black was one of them.
100%.
But I do think Brent, is building those types of teams. I mean, look at the 27 recruiting class. He's going to have good recruiting classes, and then it's going to be Nagy's, deal to bring in the glue guys, to bring in the guys and pay for the guys that are in the transfer portal that make this team better.
It all goes back to, like, I think that what they did in the portal was exceptional. Like, we've talked about it ad nauseum over the last couple of weeks since everything started going down. But the retainment of some of the guys, I think, is maybe it even rings true into last year's team.
It gets glossed over.
It gets glossed over, but I think it's really important. Like the Kip Lewis, Tanya Mateer thing, even though we expected it to happen, and if they could get Heineke back, that's an even bigger win. Talking about the linebacker core coming back with all the experience that they would have in knowing the defense and being able to help somebody like a Cole Sullivan along, kind of in his journey to getting out onto the field this spring. What we're saying is see you in Vegas, January 27th, next year, 2027.
I mean, guys, have you seen some of these top 10 lists that have come out? Like, I guess,
haven't.
I feel like I'm usually kind of the negative OU guy, but I keep seeing OU like 8 or 9. I'm like, they return a ton of their offensive line. They return a ton of the defense. It was one of the best in the country. And they return their quarterback. That's usually a recipe for like top 3 or 4.
I think that they would be a little bit higher if we had some tangible evidence you could point to that maybe like national people wouldn't on Mateer just in general. Like if you knew for a fact he was going to have a better season, he was going to clean up some of the mistakes, I think that, you look for the most part at what we saw over the last month, it was OU was winning despite what their offense wasn't able to do. And by then he had been healthy. Now, I do think that, having an offensive line that it doesn't have 2 true freshmen on it, like that offensive line, I feel like going into next year is outside of Mateer just in general, the biggest, not question mark, but just point of if this group can be good, I think this has a really good chance to be a really good offense. I think the defense probably takes something of a step back, but then again, if you could get that linebacker core back, you return 2 cornerbacks, you return, basically 2 safeties. I would say Boganowski, for the most part, something of a guy with experience. Like, I think that maybe they could make a run and maybe win a game in the college football playoff, and who knows? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we nailed it, though, when we were talking last week before all the preseason stuff that, what did we say? Somewhere in between 8 and 14, 8 and 13. That was probably going to be where they're going to be. And, all these other teams that are inside the top 10 or inside the top 15, it's kind of a who's who of, it's all the expected names.
I think when you talk about Oklahoma coming back next year, I mean, just look at what they've done so far. I mean, from the tight end position, they're a totally different team. And, having a new guy in there in Jason Witten, we don't know how that's going to go, but you don't think it's going to be a disaster in comparison to what has been. But like that tight end room, yeah, it's impressive on paper. It looks like it's going to be better, which should make the run game better, should make the offense better. To me, it's just, are they going to have that running back that they can count on, that can come in and keep the offense? Can you use the run game as a weapon? And that's my biggest question about heading into next year.
I think that's fair. And that, guys, the crazy thing about how much that tight end room has turned around, the Jack Van Dorsalier kid from South Lake that went to Tennessee, that dude would be OU's easily number 2 tight end last year and maybe even number 1. Like, probably would have played more snaps than anybody just because of his ability to play both in the run and the pass game. And he's going to be OU's 3rd tight end in all likelihood. Like, that's crazy how quickly they have been able to address that. And I think that was because it was kind of late, and I think people had kind of taken their foot off the gas and watching the portal stuff. I don't think they recognize like that guy's got a chance to be a really good football player in a couple of years. I think there's a lot of potential there.
I think when you just look at the fact that he was a true freshman, and obviously everybody's going to remember him for one thing, especially because it happened against Oklahoma. And not to say everybody's just talking shit on the kid, but he played in every game as a true freshman in the SEC. Like, you added two guys with a lot of SEC experience, especially when you add in Hayden Hansen. Like, I love what they did at tight end. Now, maybe my expectations of the position have just become so low that they could have just added three bodies, and if they were 6'6", I would have signed off. I like it, though. I'm kind of excited to see what these guys look like out on the field once spring ball starts.
Yeah, I'll say, I mean, the Van Dorselaer kid, I mean, just watching him on television last year, I was like, man, that guy's going to be a problem. I don't know if it's this game, but that dude looks the part. So I'm I'm as excited about him as anybody else that they're bringing in.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to see Trell Harris just run and go get after a football. Parker Livingston be a third down blanket. I want him to have like 60 receptions and 42 come on like 3rd and 8.
Josh? What do you think the ceiling is?
700 yards at the Cotton Bowl.
For what do you think the ceiling is for Lloyd Avant?
I think he's like a good third down back, and not just like, oh, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's physical when he runs. Like I think you could kind of like what we were just talking about with Indiana hitting Miami on some of those draws on 3rd and 7, that kind of stuff. Like surprise you with that stuff every once in a while. I think he could absolutely be that kind of guy.
Can he be like
a skilled receiver? Like I like him.
This would be very Oklahoma centric. Can he be like a half of like what Dom Whaley was for like 6 games? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think I know you mean from the type of player.
Yeah,
and I kind of hear what you're saying.
Just comes
he'll
in
be
and
obviously more specified than that.
Rips off like a 15-yard run on like a meaningless 2nd and 12 in the second quarter. But you look back on it, it's like, yeah, that's kind of important. They kind of sparked something.
Yep, I could see, and I like the way he runs. He's just very like aggressive. He's going to hit the hole. Like he feels like a guy where, and again, not to beat the Jay Knott drum, but like where last year I'm not sure everybody was on the same page with, him coming in. I think, we all know that wasn't always a perfect match. It feels like he's the kind of guy where the front office liked him and probably went to DeMarco and he's like, yeah, I can take this kid. He'll run tough. He'll run hard. He'll do some of the dirty work for us, like that kind of stuff. So, I could see him being that kind of guy. Absolutely.
If he returns a kickoff return that is important to a game, I think that kind of pays for it in and of itself.
Absolutely, because I'm sure there was investment here. I'm not saying that they got him for pennies, but like, there's no way they went way over their skis on the running back from Colorado State that had like 400 yards rushing last year. I just don't see that. But I do think he could be a role guy that is perfectly useful and can be a good, a good safety valve for John Mateer because, guys, we know there were times last year, we can talk about all the deep throws. There was stuff when you're just like, dump it off to the back, John. Just dump it off. Like there were plays there, and if they can get him to that point, Avant seems like the kind of guy that can both catch it and make a play with it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to kind of go through just take kind of one last look at the portal. Obviously the receivers going to jump out. Who do you think could be the biggest difference maker immediately next year, Josh, that's not a tight end or a receiver?
I would say a Marion Harris, and I know Eddie likes him too. I know he's brought that up before, but I think he gives Oklahoma so much flexibility on that offensive line. Like he gives OU the ability to say, Ryan Fojay, you're better at guard. We're going to put you at guard. Or if he takes the tackle job, he's beating out a guy with like 25 games of starting experience to be OU's right tackle. And Harris could maybe kick into guard, or Heath Ozida can move over to the right side, which we know is kind of the plan. So it just gives them ability to be a better line because it's not like, well, we have to figure out what Ryan Foje is best at, and then we've got to plug around, with whatever works best from there. I like him a lot. I think he'll start from day one. I like his tape. He's physical. He's violent. I think Arkansas's offensive line coach is one of the more underrated guys. I believe Wisconsin hired him, which kind of tells you where that's at after everything fell apart at Arkansas. But I think he's really good, and I think it showed with Marion Harris. I think he is a guy that has legit NFL hope.
What's the realistic expectation for Bishop Thomas, in your opinion? Like, I kind of feel like he's a guy that I don't think he's going to be a frontliner, but if he could come in and give you some of those snaps that maybe like a Marcus Strong served this year, for sure, definitely a good pickup out of the portal. Active guy.
And that's what I see for him, Eddie, is like he's not going to be a guy that you want out there for 35 or 40 snaps or anything, but 10, 15, 20, yeah, and he's got a little quickness to him. I've went and looked, like he's got some stuff from like his high school days and younger college days where he's doing all this athletic stuff where you're like, okay, he's kind of twitchy. He's got something to him. So again, I would be interested in him kind of like Lloyd Avant. Like, do you bring him in on like some third down and let him see if he can be a little bit of a pass rusher for you sometimes? Use that quickness, use that strength. And again, guys, talking about that Indiana model, this is an older interior defensive lineman. He's played a lot of football. He's been around. He's older. He's stronger. Like, you're not going to feel bad about putting him in there where he's just going to get run over by SEC guys. There's something to him where you can say, okay, we're going to be okay. We may not win the game because of the reps he's out there, but we certainly won't lose them.
It's going to be interesting. And I'm trying to think, how many guys in the recruiting class, Josh, roundabout number, are going to be in the spring? Well, I mean, we know Bo Bentley will be.
Like early enrollees?
Yes.
I mean,
it is 22 of the 24.
Yeah, I was going to say it might be easier to say who isn't. Who isn't,
The
Josh?
only two that won't be are Zizi Okwafaleze because he's going to play basketball, and Daniel Norman because he's at St. Thomas Aquinas. I'm almost certain they don't do early enrollees.
Yeah, Catholic schools.
Jasir Rogers is literally the first guy in his high school's history to graduate early.
Wow.
He's leaving early, and they kind of made it work for him. He kept calling it they had to wait till the end of his first marking period, and I was like, I don't know what that means, Jasir. So, we kind of talked through that. But, it's a huge haul. They got a bunch of guys on campus, and really the only guy that I know can't go is Ryder Mix. I know he won't be ready for spring ball. There was a picture, and who was the guy?
I was going to ask you. He's on a scooter.
With a boot on his foot.
Yeah,
I saw. Who the hell was it? I saw it, and I noted it, and now my brain's not pulling the card. So
Jasir Rogers,
I can't remember who that was.
A graduate of Apoquinimic.
I want to say like
Apoquinimic.
Apoc. I want to say it starts with like an apoc.
Apoquinimic.
I don't know that. I don't know.
A lot of those
confusing for you.
A lot of those towns though.
Apoquinic?
Don't they have like the Apocua type sound to a lot of those, like, I don't know, Connecticut.
Appomattox.
Yeah, what am I thinking of? The place that, I'm thinking of the place, not that the presidents go to. Where did the Kennedys hang out at? In Maine?
Oh.
Kenny Bunkport.
Kenny Bunkport. That's a bad example. No, that's not what I was thinking of. But that's what I was asking. Whatever.
I know some shit's gone down in
Were you thinking of Chappaquiddick there, Eddie?
Yeah, what is that? That's where the Clintons live, right?
Chappaquiddick is where Ted Kennedy killed the girl off the bridge.
But that's what I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking of. Those towns have those types of like soundings or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're all like Native American stuff. So, we as Oklahomans should be in lockstep there, but we don't have
Lackawanna, that's Native American.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was the
JUCO.
The JUCO, yeah.
Mike Ballaghan came from there, I think.
Pennsylvania?
Yeah. Capri Doucette.
Capri Doucette.
Who was the kid? And he played Emmanuel Beal. He was like
too.
The afterthought guy, but actually played some ball for OU.
Yeah, Capri was the disappointment. Emmanuel was the stud. And he played for the Seahawks for a little bit, I think.
Carey's guy, Marcellus Sutton.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you could use
Another
a
Lackawanna
Marcellus
legend.
Sutton. Like if you could get Lloyd Avant to be a little bit of a Marcellus Sutton, that's a better example.
He was a return guy. I mean, he did some stuff. I can't come up with a good because you asked that, Eddie, and I was like, who would be a good if Lloyd Avant could be this player from the past, who would fit? And I haven't come up with like a good one that I think is a fit, because Oklahoma really hasn't always done that, where they have the specialized backs, the situational guys. It's not to say they haven't done it, but it's not been, I don't know, overly successful when they've tried it. Like, they seem to have done better when they had a bell cow dude.
Indiana gave me so many OU 2000 vibes.
Yes.
I'm starting to think of, you remember Michael Thornton?
Oh, my
running back,
gosh.
Little
I remember
bowling
that.
ball.
And that's not bad. Mm-hmm.
I remember the name for sure.
He's a Coffeyville guy.
What was he? No, I'm thinking of the other kid that was an Oklahoma City guy.
Reggie
that
Skinner?
I think went. Yeah, that's exactly who it is. Well done.
On your shit. On your
old
shit
man
today.
memories. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. All right. Yeah, I mean, players are coming in. I mean, they've started workouts. So
Have they?
I think they put up a social media post the other day or yesterday about.
I think on Monday they
Time
just
to
did
go
a
or
bunch of
something.
like community service stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would imagine either if they haven't started, they will be starting at the end of the week.
Which will be interesting for a lot of the freshmen.
Can we make a blanket statement?
Sure.
Some of these freshmen, they don't look like freshmen. I could see him having a really bright future. Just put that with any freshman that's in that you want to play next year. Oh, this guy? Yeah.
Doesn't look like a freshman.
You can tell that he wants it a little bit more than everybody else. And by the way, talking about players returning, the leadership in this group, a little bit different. A little bit different than everything else.
We should just make a blanket insider post and just get every cliche out there.
If the question is about a returning starter, better. He's going to be better than he was a year ago. And if he's a freshman,
no, let me stop you right there.
He's different.
If
The
it's a
freshman's
returning,
He's different.
A returning guy
it's hearing season.
that hasn't lived up to the hype. The insider post is something along the lines of, he's finally getting it.
The lights come
The
on.
lights are coming on, and he's finally getting it. He's a different
Everything's
player.
slowing down.
And
Everything's slowing down for him.
I know that we say that as a joke. I do hope to hear something along those lines with somebody like an Elijah Thomas, because I do think that, like, when you're talking about guys that do need to make a jump over the next, 4 or 5 months with winter workouts and then spring ball included, Elijah Thomas would, if he's not number one on my list, I would have a hard time thinking of another guy. Like Taylor Himes kind of in that mix as well, or even a James Nesta, just with kind of the questions in terms of depth at linebacker. There are a number of those guys that do need to make some strides here to put themselves into a position to try to go win a starting spot once August comes around.
If Elijah Thomas doesn't have a role, like a meaningful one next year, I'll be very much like the Jim Carrey meme of just like pulling my hair out in the courtroom. Like, I don't know why this is happening, and I'm probably going to be a little irritable about it.
I'll probably go with the Jim Carrey, here we go again meme. It'll be coaching malpractice if he's not a part of things next year.
And I have no reason to
Unless
think that he
those
won't.
first three are just out of their mind. And
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, you don't make that big an impact on special teams and not be a player. You just don't.
Agreed.
I've never seen that happen before.
You never, like
Russell Dennison would probably be the last. It was just a special teams monster that wasn't a good starter.
Yeah.
I think we all love Russell Dennison. I think Elijah's a little bit better athlete.
I don't know. Russell's a pretty crazy athlete. I think Elijah's a better football player for sure.
That's what I meant. His
I
ceiling is
did.
much
I know.
higher.
Yeah.
And I love Russ.
100%. I knew somebody's gonna. Well, Russell did. He was a 100 guy in high school, and I know he's a great athlete.
I have aspirations of Elijah Thomas being an all SEC type guy when it's all said and done.
Agreed. Elijah Thomas has the talent to be one of the best receivers to come out of Oklahoma in the last 20 years. And I don't mean the state; I mean the school.
You want Elijah Thomas. And you need this to happen on any of your teams if you want to be good. But these guys that you paid, whatever we want to say it is, $800,000 to come back, you want him to play so well that those guys are like, shit, that kid's just better than me. Like, you have to have young players on your team that are outperforming guys that you brought in from the transfer portal. It makes you better, and you just have to live with it. But it has to happen. I mean, at some point, if you're going to be great, especially on offense. Now, that doesn't mean, that calm your jets if you're thinking, oh, Bo Bentley's going to do that to John Mateer. That's not what we're talking about. But if he does, you got a good quarterback. I shouldn't even put that out in the.
That would be something.
I shouldn't even put that out in the world. Somebody grab onto that.
That's the thing, though.
But
if
I don't
Bo
take
goes
it
and takes
seriously.
that job, he was really good, unbelievably good, and that's the way. That's
He'd
the
be
only
like
way
one
that
of the
would
best
happen.
freshman quarterbacks in the history of the game.
Yes. So if it happens, it's almost certainly great for OU. But I couldn't agree more that it's not going to happen.
It brings a question into my head, what if Sam Bradford had been thrown out there as a true freshman?
National title.
What would it have looked like?
I think his mental headspace was just much different. He was a Panther. Oh, by the way, I'll save it for
Panthers out there doing big things in the world right now.
Are they?
Illegal things.
Oh, yeah, that is true. That is true. Shout out them.
And Eddie's not involved. Huge upset.
It was. I told my buddies this, not to get too much into it. If you want to PM me, I'll tell you what we're talking about. It is a little bit of a reminder I'm just a poor person when I am not involved in any type of these frauds. It's like, oh, nobody even contacted. I didn't even get the occasional hey, would you be interested?
Yeah.
I had no opportunity to do so. I had no money to do so.
You thought you were networked in pretty deep.
It kind of cuts me to my core that I'm not even involved in some of these alleged
you didn't even get a
wrongdoings.
chance to turn it down.
Yeah, exactly. I would have had to turn it down. I probably would have never responded, but I mean, at least
nice
give me
to be asked to commit fraud.
At least give me the opportunity.
I want a chance to be a felon. I want to say no, but I want the opportunity to exist.
Okay, PM Eddie for more details on that one. Okay, Josh, I'm sorry you have to deal with this. I'm sorry to myself that I have to deal with this, but we have to talk about this mess of a basketball team.
I think it's easier to talk about it though.
I feel like this, and I hate being the guy on the bar stool, but I just feel like this team, they played the other day they just didn't give a shit. Is Porter reaching these guys at all, or is he just white noise to them now?
Does it sound bad if I feel like we're almost past the point of asking that question and wondering if so? I think it's to the point now where you begin the process of, okay, what's next? And I hate to say it like that with, relatively so much in the basketball season left, at least on the schedule.
Went wire to wire losing to a 1-4 team.
Yeah.
What do they have did they have a 7-game, or they haven't played 7? They had a 5-game losing streak? Whether they were 1-4.
I think they were on a 3-game losing streak because I think the two combined on a 7-game going in, and OU was on a 4. But yeah, I mean, I don't think South Carolina's a good basketball team, and you got kind of beat pretty soundly on Tuesday night. 5 for 27 from 3, not good.
Awful.
Nigel Pack seemingly, I think
he's had an awful couple of games.
The record, historically, it would show that he's a very good shooter. He can't make anything right now.
From anywhere on the floor.
No, it's just bad. And that followed up a 2 for 10 against Alabama. And I think everybody knows how that went over the weekend. It's just, I think it's getting to the point where it's okay. It's it's okay to say that I think that this is it for Porter Moser. And now you kind of start looking at what else is out there, start monitoring some other games Like, I'm going to stay up tonight to watch some of the Grand Canyon game because I'm doing a little bit of homework on Bryce Drew. It's over. And I think my dad put it best last night. It's kind of sad that it's January 21st, and by all intents and purposes, unless there's some type of miracle turnaround,
OU basketball
season's over.
Yeah.
Like, I think just on that basis alone is worth the discussion of firing. Are they going to do it like in season? I think that's kind of where my mind is at. I don't think so. I don't think that there's
name an athletic director first.
They got to do that. I honestly don't know like who would even you would entertain as the interim coach. But after last night, like that's where I was before last night. And, I don't think to answer your question, Carey, I don't think that like there's a bunch of like inner fighting in the locker room or anything. I haven't heard anything like that. But when you do get your ass beat in the manner that they did last night,
and it doesn't seem to affect you, and you don't seem to put up a lot of fight.
Yeah, just like maybe a changeup would be good to wake everybody else up. And that's unfair maybe to Porter, but it is also year 5.
And by the way, that was a really good crowd Saturday for Alabama.
Yeah, it was.
Compared to what we saw against Florida.
And much like everything else in the first 4 years, a really good crowd came down there, saw him play very impassioned, I thought, for the first half, had an 11-point lead, and then you basically let it go in the first minute and a half in the second half. And then you get into the back end of the game, and much like so many times before, you're in position to win the game, and you had more turnovers than field goals in the last 4 minutes of the game. Like, at no point are you going to win a game doing that at home, let alone against a pretty good team like Alabama.
By the way, did you see what Florida did to LSU last night? Just a massacre.
I saw they were up by like 15 or 20. I didn't see what the final was.
Their bigs were big. I mean, like, they looked
Florida's
unbelievable.
If Florida can get it going from a backcourt, like if Boogie Flan can be the guy that I think a lot of people think he can be, their front court is far and away the longest, the deepest, the best, maybe in the country. Obviously there's going to be outliers with Boozer at Duke. Like, he's obviously phenomenal. But when you roll out the size that they have, it was almost kind of jaw-dropping to see him up close, whether it be the Thomas Hugh kid or Alex Condon. The Chinaluk guy is just dominating. He was dominated on Saturday against Vanderbilt in their win in Nashville. What did he have last night?
He had 15 and 21 rebounds last night.
Yeah, he had 21, yeah. Yeah, 15 and 21. He is a monster. Like, what is he even listed at? 6'10", 265. That dude's going to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just, I think ultimately it's just incredibly disappointing to see this kind of come to an end, even though there's a lot of season left. Because I do think, like, after last year and some of the conversations that we had at the end of the year, I don't know. Like, I think it's easier now to say that speaking of catching lightning in a bottle, they were damn lucky to have Jeremiah Fears at the end of the year, and he covered up a lot of things that were probably evident that I didn't want to admit. And I thought that they had kind of really built some momentum, and certainly in the portal, I thought that this was going to be one of the better teams that Porter's had, and they've opened up conference play by just laying an egg. I don't think there's any other way to say
lifeless.
it. It's going to cost him his job, and it sucks to kind of just call it like it is right now, but like I said, it's January 21st, and by all intents and purposes, Oklahoma's basketball season and making the NCAA tournament's over. Like, that's embarrassing.
It's just not good for basketball in general right now. The women are losing pretty big, and they're playing a tough schedule right now, but
yeah,
they
going
just
through murderer's
don't
row.
Look like a team that's going to compete for a Final Four berth.
It's something that I think I would prefer to wait until the end of the season, but you just do wonder, like, the boon of getting somebody like an Aaliyah Chavez, would that money have been, it's kind of like what football has done, like, would that money have been spent better elsewhere if they could have got maybe a couple more bodies other than, just the one in Chavez, where she's just not shooting the ball very well right now, and you're not going to win a whole lot of games if she's not putting up points.
And it's still kind of that
I do think that
chaotic turnover, going up and down the floor when some people aren't really built for that.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think like outside of the very, very, very elite.
I'm just saying they're not as athletic as they need to be to compete with an LSU or
the good news
South
is
Carolina, whoever.
Who is?
Yeah.
I think there's like 4 or 5 of those teams. LSU, South Carolina, UConn, Texas, UCLA.
Yeah.
I think that's probably about it. Everybody else, I think, is kind of like grouped together
LSU,
from
though, they don't
7
really,
through 15.
Like LSU doesn't do it with bigs. They have.
Well, Flau'jae Johnson's unbelievable.
Yeah, she's great. But I mean, like UCLA has bigs.
Yeah, I think they beat somebody the other night.
Maryland.
Was it
Beat them by
Maryland?
30.
It was their sixth 30-point win over a ranked opponent this year. I think it's the most ever. They're a beast.
Yeah, and Texas beat Texas A&M 80-35.
Texas is a beast. Texas is really, really good. Roy Harmon's unbelievable. They have the kind of the big forward. I forget her name. Booker. Something.
Well, Booker's their best player. Yeah, I mean, had been. By the way, and again, Sunday, 10,000 people in Lloyd Noble. It was a shame that it wasn't a better game.
Yeah. Like the thing about it is like there's an avenue for the women to get right. They're playing a really tough portion of their schedule right now. With the men, I think a lot of it is because I don't want to believe it, but
there seems to be no hope.
Are they going to finish in last place? Like, what games are they going to win?
Who are they going to beat the rest of the way?
I think that they're going to beat some teams.
They were in the game with Alabama. I mean, they could have. There were plenty of scenarios where they could have won that game against Alabama.
They were in the game last night too.
Yeah.
I mean, they had multiple possessions in the second half, late in the second half, with 8 minutes left, under the 8, with opportunity to cut it to a 1-score game, and you just threw up a bunch of bricks, like 5 for 27. I don't care who you're playing on the road. You're not going to win very many games doing that. I mean, Koala Talk bouncing a ball that would have been literally just a layup or dunk. You choose. And he fumbles it off of his leg. It's just it's little things that, like, it looks like at times they don't even know how to play basketball.
Yeah.
Which is, it'd be different if this was year one and he had to throw things together. But this was like supposed to kind of be like the last rally cry, and this is what it looks like? Sorry, dude. Sucks. And the other thing that really sucks, I was telling somebody last night, it's like you look across the country and there's some guys that are doing really well that were on Oklahoma's short list. And I might be wrong in saying this, but like what Grant McCaslin's done at Tech, and I know that the money thing is a little bit different. It just it sucks. It's kind of like the Indiana experience in football. It sucks to watch other people have nice things and you don't.
Did I see that Tech's last coach? Is he on Beard's staff now?
Who?
The guy that looked like the accountant.
Oh, the older guy?
Yeah.
He might be. Yeah, he might be because he was on
Beard's bench.
He was on Beard's staff at Tech.
Yeah.
God, what is his name? The older guy?
Yeah,
he's like
the dark hair.
Yeah, he's a defensive wizard, supposedly. He's supposed to be a really good defensive coach. We don't have to get into names today to fill out a job that's not open yet. But 3 names I do like. Brian Hodgson at South Florida. He was previously over at Arkansas State. I think he's pretty familiar with this area of the world, doing kind of more with less. Tony Skinn, George Mason. I'll give you 4. Bryce Drew, Grand Canyon. Honestly, Grand Canyon might be a better job than Oklahoma right now. And 4th, just to troll a little bit, but I could be swayed into it. Doug Gottlieb, Green Bay. I think it'd be funny, and mainly just because I think it'd be funny. But he has done a better job. He has done a really good job with Green Bay this year. They're like kind of functional. I don't think that. Oh, and then you make the call to the Houston staff, see if anybody wants to come home. I truly don't know if Kellen would want it. Like, I think Houston's in a pretty damn good situation right now.
Mark Adams, he is.
Mark Adams, that's it.
He is on Beard's staff.
Yeah, that is it.
All right, Josh.
I mean, if you really want to get crazy, you call Chris Beard.
No more basketball.
What about Chris Beard? I'd call Chris Beard. I'd give Chris Beard $5 million.
You got that stuff cleared up with the woman, right?
Yeah, you said she lied. They might have been somebody else.
Allegedly. All right.
Thunder are back, though. That's good. That's a positive.
It's going to be tough making it to that game this weekend.
Friday night might not be bad. I think it is going to be snowing if you were at the Paycom Center and leave. I think the Sunday evening game might be the toughest one to get to.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. We'll see. In my brain, I kind of envisioned like the Thunder coming out at, Thursday night, tomorrow night, and being like, hey, we know it's going to be bad. We're going to move tip-off up to like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday. And then, you can buy tickets for like $20 and I'll go. That'd be awesome.
Walk over to Mahogany afterwards, warm up.
Possibly. That'd be amazing. It'd be a great night.
I'm a little concerned. We've had some deliveries arrive during the show, and Eddie is going to know what I'm up to because there's something sitting right out the door that he's going to recognize.
It's scary.
He's going to tell me I'm stupid.
Yeah. It's all right.
Even though I'm doing it for you.
Well,
I'm blaming this on my mom. She bought a microwave for the office for Christmas because she knew I wouldn't get George one. So now it's turned into George's heating up his lunches. There's some talk about, coffee and things in the office because the Starbucks closed down on Campus Corner, so people are suffering.
I still can't believe that happened.
They got one in the Union. Yeah.
Yeah, the one on
There's one in the Union, though.
And it's a big one. It is a massive Starbucks in there. If you know where Kate Center, but Crossroads is, it's like just a little bit north of there in the building, but it's massive.
Okay.
We're getting a Hawaiian Brothers. I don't know if they have those in Houston, Josh. Been told they're very good.
Seems familiar, but I don't know what it is. No.
I think it's like a kind of like one of those 2-meat Hawaiian plate specials where you get like rice and chicken or beef or pork.
Okay.
Like the
I'm
Mo
not mad about
Betta's
that.
place. Yeah, I'll be, if it's good, I'll be going there a lot. But no, I'm building a coffee bar for the boys.
Lattes?
Yes, I've got a frother coming.
I don't know how to do all this.
It's easy. You
We're
put
gonna become
skim milk,
baristas.
It's an automatic thing.
We're going to become baristas.
Yes, but like really undertrained baristas. So I reordered. So my mom bought us a coffee maker for the office, a Keurig. But I know Eddie only drinks like cold coffee, like cold brew. coffee.
I'll drink hot coffee.
Will you?
Yeah. I mean, it's just over the next couple of days,
just so
I
you
would
know,
drink it.
The new coffee maker that does both cold and hot has arrived.
Nice.
It's Keurig. It was only a couple $100.
Okay. Hell yeah. Thank you.
$200. Now the frother is another
winking,
$50.
Josh.
And we do have an ice machine coming.
Nice. I will use that.
I feel like we're moving towards ice cream maker. Like I'm getting
No.
concerned. I know about PNT. I'm getting worried.
This is my limit. This is my limit. No, nothing. No. See, George already wants an air fryer, and we're not doing that.
I honestly don't think that I would like an ice cream machine. I like soft serve ice cream, but I'm also not the biggest sweet guy.
Now, if
having
you
an ice
get-
cream machine would just be a lot.
If you get the soft serve, like Barstool, like the cream machine, what do they call them? The cream team?
The cream team, yeah. I just don't think I would. I don't think
We
I
would
can
never
eat,
eat
that much
enough
ice cream.
to justify having that, though. We don't have enough people that work here.
I'm not a huge ice cream guy. Like that's just not really like if I want something sweet, that's not really the direction I'm going to go.
I agree.
I went to Brahms the other night for the first time in months, and that's probably the first time in 6 months. Well, that's not true. I'll get a chocolate dip cone every once in a while at Dairy Queen. But that was the first time I had like Brahms like ice cream in like a year, I think.
I don't know if I've ever been. I don't think I've ever ordered anything from Dairy Queen. I've had a.
It's not good.
I've had one of the upside down things, but I didn't order it, like somebody else did. I don't think I've ever actively gone to a Dairy Queen on my own.
Apparently, this Hawaiian Brothers has Dole Whip.
I don't. What's that?
Josh knows what that is. He's been to Disney.
Oh, Jesus Christ! It's a whole Disney thing, Eddie. It's.
Is it
it's
overrated?
hard,
You think it's overrated?
yeah, I did. Yeah, it was too sweet for me. Like I was like, oh God, like it's real hit you in the face. I don't think I got it the first time we went. I don't think I've gotten it since.
Is it just like pineapple-y kind of?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
love pineapple.
And I do too. I love pineapple, but for some reason that didn't hit for me at all. So, and again, probably because like the whole time I'm there, I'm walking this fine line between my girls are having a great time and this is great and, family moment. And I don't fucking want to be here at all. Like that, like I'm just vacillating between those two things at all times.
Now, is that what you're doing next week? Are you going back to Orlando?
Yes.
Holy shit.
This is the week. This is the week. Yeah.
Just no wonder you needed that expense check so much.
Oh God. Yep. It's a week of just pure pain and agony.
It's amazing that you people pay that much money to go there. To wait in line.
Not.
Now, do you have are you going to piss everybody off? You get the passes and all that?
Oh yeah. We absolutely do that. Tiffany, first time we went, she did some research. Tiffany's big on when we take vacations, she does a bunch of research. She's really good about that kind of stuff. So we are able to do a lot more than we would if it was just me. Cause I'm like, oh, we'll get there and see what happens. But she's she listens to Disney podcasts and crap about people that take the trips. So this time of year, do this time of year, go this way, that kind of stuff. So,
oh God, you're going to go even after the girls
is everything
are grown,
all right everything okay with Tiff? Everything good? I mean, these Disney podcasts.
This is super uncool. This is Tiffany's one real I don't know this. I can't explain it because Tiffany is one of those people that gets overstimulated and does. I remember once her getting upset about having to put a schedule to planning, watering her plants and stuff. I've got to do this 3 days a week and I have to set it to a schedule and blah blah. She hated it, but Disney, she will I can tell if I called her right now, it's Tuesday at 2 p.m. What are we going to be doing? And she can tell you, she knows. Disney, something about that just scratches an itch for her, and I don't know what it is. And it's the only thing like this in her life. It's the only thing where I'm that's not very cool. That's just not cool at all. But she loves it. But I want to be very clear. Once the girls are out of oh, it's magical and the princesses and blah blah. I will not be going anymore. When Tiffany wants to go, she can go with her mom. She can go with anybody she wants to. I'm not going to have any part in that. This is 100%. I like seeing the girls having a great time, but Tiffany and I can take trips that I
doing a
actually want to be part
marathon
of.
every day, walking around a theme park is not.
Oh
your
yeah,
idea of a good time.
No, there's a million ways to and I'm one of those people we go on vacation. I don't mind going on a hike or going to do something outdoors. I like that kind of stuff. But just walking around and being with 17,000 other children every day, God, no, that's not how I want to spend my free time.
God bless.
Pour one out for you.
Yeah, somebody asked me in the board chat, what are your favorite parks? The ones where I can get drinks most readily. I know where the drink stops are at just about every park.
Well, that's a good quality to have.
Yep. And it's why Magic Kingdom, the one with the castle, sucks ass. There are not enough drink places.
I don't even know what's the difference between. I never grew up with the family that went to Disney World. We didn't do that.
The girls' first trip was my first trip. I'd never been before.
I grew up in a family that wouldn't even get appetizers. I had to have other friends that would do that. It was taboo to get appetizers. It was just too much money.
To me, is guys, that's a really good thing. Is that a boy-driven family versus a girl-driven family? Tiffany, the first time we went out, she ordered appetizers. I was like, what's this? It's fine. I didn't care. But it never occurred to me to order appetizers. It was never, and now I can't, almost any restaurant we go to, we're probably going to order an appetizer. And it's just the way it goes.
We were a sports-driven family. We were always traveling for sports and stuff. My God, my sister did national roller skating events. We drove to Lincoln, Nebraska every summer so she could compete in roller skating nationals.
That is...
Could have won the gold medal at awesome. Speed skating.
You did?
No, she could have.
Oh.
With the Winter Olympics coming up next week.
Speed skater. Okay. I think we're done. I think we're good, unless anybody else has anything they want to hit on. Josh will be gone next week, but we'll be getting George back, so the content train will start rolling once again soon.
The Saturday, the 31st, is OU's first junior day.
Okay.
So I'm going to coordinate that as best I can, and obviously have a bunch of updates when I get back, which will be later that night. So we'll have plenty on that. I'm going to have list of who's coming, that kind of stuff. So we'll have all the normal content. It just may take a little longer than normal to get some of that stuff out.
I would also say, too, that I don't know when it's going to happen, but I do get the impression that there's going to be some type of resolution with the athletic director search by the end of the month. Like, I think that we'll start hearing some things here moving forward, and I know that we're working on some stuff behind the scenes, but I have no idea who they're going to go get. It just seems like that would be the kind of the natural progression through this for this search.
No, I would say it's coming soon. Yeah. It's just a matter of everybody checking off on the candidate that they like.
Yeah.
But they're down. Georgia said it many times. They're down to 3. And narrowing it down as we speak, I'm sure.
Sure.
All right. That's going to do it. We'll be back again next week for another edition of the Unofficial 40 podcast. Thanks to Josh. Enjoy the time off with the family, Josh. Although I know you won't enjoy it all that much.
Yeah, vacation that doesn't sound like much of a vacation.
This is why Eddie and I don't take vacations. All right. That's going to do it. We'll be back again next week for another edition of the Unofficial 40 podcast right here on Soonerscoop.com.